Here we have arrived, and it is post full moon in Scorpio. Post full moon in Scorpio energies. Usually full moon energies last maybe like 3 days or so. So there's still some time to work with this, still some time to work with the depth that is Scorpio and the energies that come online when we radically and confrontingly look at the shadows, look at the stories that are limiting us, that may be preventing that water from flowing, as a means of reclaiming our autonomy in this time and space. So when we think of Scorpio, we're thinking of getting to the piercing truth of it all. Many of us, we avoid shadow, we avoid truth because of course, it comes with baggage, it comes with pain, it comes with story. And I'm not saying we're trying to scapegoat any of these stories. We're not trying to get past any of it, but it's time to look at it. You know, we are living in a day and age where there is shadow everywhere, my loves. There's shadow everywhere. And the goal here is not to avoid shadow by any means, but rather to look at it as information and data. All this shadow is doing is motivating us toward change. Change, hopefully, that's outside of you did this to me and you did this to me. And of course, there's time and place for accountability. Accountability is essential. Accountability is hot. Accountability is sexy. But there also comes a time and place where you have to look at yourself and to look at the raw materials that are present here to sit with, okay, something's got to give, something's got to change. And the most powerful resource of energy doesn't come from revenge. It comes from you consciously breaking that spell and saying, great, I'm going to point it in this direction. I'm going to take these actions. I'm going to move in this way. And the next time that red flag comes where my intuition is coming online and saying, something is off, with my discerning eye, with my discerning heart, I will feel into the energy of what is in front of me and move accordingly. That is Scorpionic strategy. That is the energy of like, cool, intentionally moving at this pace, because it's only going to get more intense, baby. Let's go ahead and look at the astrologies that we have going on here. It's only going to grow increasingly more intense. Look at all this energy here. Look at what we got to work with here. This is fiery, baby. It's a fiery time to be alive. Action, forward momentum, pioneering. We're pioneering something new. And I think where there is room for growth is accepting that there is no going back. There is no going back to where we were. There is no going back to once upon a time. The damage has been done. Now, what we do with the damage that's been done and caused is where we reclaim that sense of power. Aries is all about action. And yes, there's a time and place to be watery and receptive. There's a time and place to feel and just to pour into. And there's a time to move. Whatever is that fear, whatever that fear is that's limiting that momentum from even happening in the first place, it's an illusion. Of course, it comes with baggage and weight. I'm not denying that. I'm not trying to spiritually bypass anything. But if we haven't gone forward for some time now, I really want you to look at October 2025 until now, even October 2024 until now, and like what's transpired between now and then. What's happening here? Why are we waiting for someone to save us? Because if we're waiting for someone else to save us, if we're waiting for an apology, if we're waiting for someone else to remove that sword from our heart, then we're going to be waiting forever, my loves. That is not it. Reclaiming our time, reclaiming our energy, reclaiming our mojo, reclaiming our juice, reclaiming our action, reclaiming our impulse. Whatever psychic energies, if you feel like you're being psychically attacked, babe, you're not. You're just allowing the influence of someone else's wound to shape how you perceive reality. I'll say it here once and I'll say it here again. The world is not out to get you. And that's probably the most beautiful, beautiful Scorpio truth of it all. The world is not out to get you, my love. Damage has been done, sure. But it's our capacities to still say yes. To still look at the shadow deep in the eye and say, I will not let you defeat me. And this is a universal muscle that has kept humanity going. If our lineages were to just look at shadow, the intensity of it all, and to go, nah, I give up, we wouldn't even be here today. And you think this moment is intense? Woof, this moment. I'm so grateful for the tools. I'm so grateful for the technology. I'm so grateful for this platform to be able to vocalize all these things so that we can feel less isolated in this journey, to metabolize it all in this space. Because once upon a time, it probably was a hell of a lot more isolating. It was a hell of a lot more isolating than this moment. And like, Scorpio is here. Scorpio's here as a reminder. Hey, friend. There's something happening here. And look at all this squaring energy. We have all this Gemini energy over here. We have the South Node as well, squaring the nodal axis with this opposition here. Like, what's the dream, my love? We really know what's not working with that South Node in Virgo. We really, really know what's not working. What about the dream? What about the dream? And does this dream serve the collective higher good with that Aquarius energy? Don't forget to dream, babe. Understanding that a lot of these modern day conveniences that we have access to all started because we had a dream. We had a dream to create more love, more ease, more comfort, more compassion, more connection. It's all started because we had an idea. All started because we had a very Gemini idea, Geminian idea of just like, whoa, I feel like something like this could be possible. How do we connect these dots? There's nothing better. There's no one better than a Gemini to connect those dots that feel so far away. And these are the dots here. We're connecting the dream that is Pisces and also the reality, the feedback, the criticism, this yearning to optimize oneself through that Virgo lens. But with South Node in Virgo, it's the amplification of that shadow. So it's the pointing at the things that are wrong. Are you heading out, my love? I love you. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. So that's what we're looking at here. Yes, it's probably reasonable and justifiable to say that this dream comes with some weight. It comes with some baggage. And that's okay. It's okay. And it's what makes it that much more worth it. A dream that has history, a dream that has wound. That's the beautiful gift of Scorpio, is its willingness to still put themselves in spaces where they're vulnerable. It's this resistance of, I will not let this wound harden my heart. I will not let this wound harden me. With the raw materials of this heart, I will keep loving. I will keep trusting. I will keep seeing and embracing change. Change. All right, friends? So that's the snapshot Now we get to integrate all of that. Whatever seed we planted on April 17th with that new moon in Aries, whatever thing we wanted to act and start, now we really got to look at the weight that is preventing that action from fully happening. That seed that we planted for that new moon in Aries on April 17th, it wants to take some shape, but in order for that sprout to come alive, it has to go through all those layers of darkness so that it can, boom, burst out into the world and look at me. I'm a flower. All right? So that's what I have for you, dears, in regards to the collective message. We're going to start moving into personalized readings. We are fully booked up for today. I encourage you to stay in this space because whoever booked a reading might have the same astrology as you, and it's a really good way to learn about other people and how they move through the world by looking at other people's charts. That's how I have grown and exercised that empathy muscle. So we're going to do some personal readings now. Booked up. If you would like to book a personal reading for yourself, like a little 15-minute mini reading, then there's a link down below in the description or on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, it's linked in my bio. But we got a list. We got a great list today. First up on the list, we have Sarah. I see that you are already in the space. Just give me one quick second to pull up your chart here. And I ask everyone in the space, what is Scorpio asking you to look at? What shadow is Scorpio asking you to look at? What are we letting go? What are we reclaiming in letting that go? What use does that weight serve you? What use does this doubt serve you? How does it really serve you? Use this space in the meantime as an integrative space because it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful when we use it in that way. We gotta metabolize together, you know? All right. Sarah Bay from Paris. If you are in the space, where are you? I have Sarah Bay from Paris. I have Angelica, Mary Mesa, and Ashley on the list today. But Sarah Bay from Paris, where are you? I just have a question about your birthplace because it's not showing up here. Oh, I think it's 2 words. That's why. Let's try that. There you are. Ah, beautiful. Yay! It's 2 words. Yeah, I got it. I found you. I found your chart. Great. All right, love. Let me just read your note real quick here. Yep. Okay. Great. I really love this for you because I'm looking at your chart already and I see that so much of your purpose, so much of what you're here to evolutionarily do is in the realm of innovation, is in the realm of technology. It's in the realm of communication and how we connect those dots. And the reason why I say this is I'm looking at all this energy up here in your 10th house, your 10th house of legacy, your 10th house of career, your 10th house of the stage. And the stage we take up space in, and you have a TED Talker up here. North Node in Gemini, my love. The crown of your chart, we have Gemini here as well, which is telling me that evolutionarily, like, this is what we came to do. North Node is that North Star. South Node is the baggage. It's the energy of just like, now we have some weight, right? What we've come into this world with. And with that South Node in Sagittarius, there's that energy here of beliefs, right? There are some beliefs. We might have some really strong personal beliefs, spiritual beliefs. I would say with South Node in Sagittarius in the 4th house, maybe there were a lot of beliefs instilled on you as far as like what this world looks like, needs to look like. Maybe religion played a part in your upbringing, either as like, or maybe there was lack of religion, lack of meaning in that way as well. Both fit. But in that 4th house of family, in that 4th house of home, right? We are looking at, great. Something here is either a belief is limiting us, or we need to ask more questions. I would say that there's a lot more than meets the eye here with that South Node in Sagittarius, which can live kind of fixed and rooted in dogmatic beliefs that limit us from really connecting all the dots, to which that North Node here in Gemini is saying, great, your life path is to ask questions. Your life path is to curiously ask questions. And I would say here, with Gemini up here in the 10th house, we're not doing just one thing in our lifetime. I'd say open up all the tabs. Open up all the tabs. Go down all the rabbit holes. Learn all the things. Gemini is the student of the zodiac. They want to learn. They're very curious. And with the Chiron wound here in Gemini, I would say maybe here, like the career, once upon a time, we built it through that South Node in Sagittarius. I would say maybe family was really trying to force you into a career path that didn't feel like your own, to which you said, fuck that noise. Maybe now in this chapter, you're just like, I want to do something that excites me. I want to do something that feels good. I want to do something, dare I say, that's never been done before. And you should trust it, babe. Uranus is in Gemini. Venus is in Gemini right now, transiting. The outer wheel is a transit, inner wheel is natal. And look at this, 0 degrees Uranus is in close conjunction with that Chiron wound here in Gemini, which we're learning to trust our questions, right? We're learning to trust our discernment. We're learning to trust our knowledge. You know, we're moving away from seeing life as just tunnel vision, one thing, which is very much South Node in Sagittarius, to now opening up those hands and taking in all the information, which can be a lot. I would say nervous system regulation is needed and necessary, but there's something beautiful, because come on, Virgo rising, we love systems, we love analysis. We see fine details that a lot of people aren't really looking at. So like, trust that this data, this is a very Mercury driven chart, by the way. Mercury is ruled by Virgo here. We also have Mercury ruled by that Gemini placement as well. So we're looking here at, we have something to communicate in this lifetime. Something very special and important to communicate. Looking at where Mercury is living in your chart natally, it's in that 1st house. So what do we have to get out? And trusting that whenever we are in a space of belief that expands us, Jupiter here, how we open those doors, understanding that, I love this. I don't know if this will resonate for you, Sarah, but no. Go. Sorry, we have some doggies, some fur babies here that can get a little distracting. So, understanding here that with that, I can see this with that South Node, the Karma, and the North Node in Gemini as being that bridge between spirituality and science. Between the deep meaning making of like the world, the universe, and those complexities, and bringing it into the scientific realm. We're bridging that gap. And we're going to see that here. Uranus and Gemini. Uranus is a earth shaker. Every time Uranus moves, we're changing assignments, right? We're changing assignments. We're changing the realm. We're changing the environment of revelation. And we moved from Uranus and Taurus, which was all about values. What are my values? How do those values feel in my body? How do I live by those values? And in that, Uranus maybe shook up the value system in some really powerful ways, maybe stripped the values to get you to renegotiate the terms and conditions of your own values. And now we're moving to Gemini. So we're innovating communication, we're innovating connection, we're innovating technology. And every single time Uranus has been in Gemini, we've seen massive innovation in the technological realm. I'm talking about radio, sonar, code breaking. And during the American Revolution, we saw pamphlets and printing presses, and the way information spread radically shifted how we connect with one another. I'm telling you, AI, yes, it has its faults. Yes, it has its damage, but any technology does. When the cars were introduced into the world, a lot of people were like also feeling it was too early to introduce this technology, introduce cars to the world. And a lot of car accidents had to happen before there was regulation, before there were rules, right? Same thing applies to this technology with AI right now. No. So same thing applies to this technology right now as a means of like, cool, there's this massive opportunity here for innovation, massive opportunity here for AI to maybe add to this conversation even more, okay? So ultimately, you are on the right path. Trust that this interest in technology, this interest in connection and communication and all those wonderful things is what's going to anchor you. It is what's going to expand you. Trust that. Your career is going to go through massive innovation this year and shifts. Not just this year, for a while. We're talking about 7 years of Uranus, right? 7 years of Uranus massively shaking this chart, this sector of your life. So trust the sort of like twists and turns that come through that. Trust the sudden like, whoa, here's an opportunity that just fell on my lap. I'm going to say yes to it. I'm going to say yes to this opportunity. I'm going to say yes to this change. I'm going to say yes to this side quest. Really, really special. Okay? So that's what I have for you, dear. Really good stuff. Really great work. I love this year for you in the sense and how it's going to move that place and that vibrational place. And yeah, good stuff. You already know. You already knew this though. You didn't need me to tell you, but it's always great to have an astrology friend to also add to the conversation, right? Lots of love to you, friend. Thank you for your contributions. I really appreciate it. Next up on the list, we have Angelica. Angelica, where are you in the world? Yeah, where are you? Just say that you're here so I know. Get your chart up here. Let's see. There's that. Okay. Wow, we are global here. I love this. We had Germany. We have Germany now. We had Austria in the last reading. We are global. I fucking love it. All right, friends, let's see here what we have going on in your notes. Angelica, thank you for being here. I forgot. Okay. Just make sure my input here is correct. Cape Verde. Hey, Cape Verde in the house. All right. Oh my goodness. I love doing this. This is so fun. All right, friend. So let's talk about your chart, okay? If you have a North Node in Aquarius, if you have a South Node in Leo, this message can also apply to you. It's very important to clock this. Fun fact, my North Node is in Aquarius as well, South Node in Leo. So South Node in Leo is good at being seen. You know, for me, my South Node in Leo is in my 11th house. So it's like, I have no problem in that community sector. It's like, look at me, I'll put on a show for you. But in a very North Node in Aquarius way, what am I getting you to look at? Which is very niche. It's very unique. It's very outside the box. Like, we're talking about understanding oneself to I'm using my innate charm, my gifts, that Leo gift, to help you see yourself in service of you, to help you see what makes you weird, to help you see your inner rebel and radical and disruptor. And right now, for some time actually, with Pluto being in Aquarius, it's here with Pluto, we'd apply maybe like a 6-degree orb. So I would say it is conjunct your North Node in Aquarius right now, which is telling me selfhood and how you see yourself is going through massive shifts, massive changes. Aquarius is the outlier. Aquarius is all about really removing oneself from the circle, not like completely, but to see themselves on the outside looking in. Every single time we talk about Aquarius, we're talking about themes of collectivism, bringing people together, bringing that energy online, and just like great trusting that our unique perspective comes from something, comes from the future. Anytime I sit with a North Node in Aquarius, I'm like, some of your greatest work will be experienced long after you've expired, long after you left the world. So we got to remove the importance of like this being the legacy defining era or time for our lives. And when we remove the pressure of like, I have to do something about this life and like, of course, there's some of that applied here. We should treat this life with such reverence and importance. But when we're like trying to find the purpose in this lifetime, that's where it gets a little clunky. I would say your recognition, the recognition you want, because that South Node in Leo, that's what they want. They want that validation, right? They want that recognition. But the recognition you're meant to experience in this lifetime comes from sharing and being that devil's advocate in the room. We got to get comfortable with ruffling up some feathers and not being liked. We got to get comfortable with saying the thing the room needs to hear, even though wholeheartedly, deep down inside, you know it's going to instigate something. Enter this Chiron in Aries, right? Right now, Chiron is in Aries. It's your Chiron return. So I would say over the past year and a half or so, how has communication and the themes of communication really been coming up to the surface? Chiron in Aries is the wound of selfhood. It's the wound of, I deserve the right. I deserve to be here. I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be witnessed. I have a right for my voice to count. I would say here, me too. Me too. And that goes against, that beautiful Taurus sun who also just wants to chill, wants to be comfortable. Can we all just get along? I want to communicate, but I don't want to fight. I want to speak, but I don't want to cause damage or harm. Not every conversation needs to end with a battle, right? But the only way you get closer to that is by saying the thing, even if it causes or potentially can cause damage or harm or confrontation. On top of all this, like this era, this chapter of your life, love, from now, a decade from now, 10 years worth, like we are really exploring what it truly means to lead in this world, to lead by example. There's that magnetizing South Node Leo energy where, gosh, people love you. Yeah, there's not a lack of love, I think. But if anything, maybe people are loving you through a screen, through a film. It's not the full you, it's not the most authentic you. And now it's a matter of mastering being in spaces where you say the thing, even with people you love, with people you belong to, that might ruffle those feathers. You know, I would say perhaps we're going through an era of unmasking right now. And that's uncomfortable. Especially uncomfortable for a sun in Taurus who is just like, gosh, I just want us all to just like get along and be comfortable and be like these beautiful little like earth angels frolicking through the grass. I love, and that love is there. But when that love is at odds with who or what your truth is, you know, when we're looking at North Node, we're mastering paradox in this lifetime. And to master paradox, we gotta look at how we other ourselves. And in the othering of ourselves, does that create bridges or does that create islands and silos? And that's the thing about Aquarius. It oftentimes is painted as we are all one, the people will rise as one. But where it gets confused in the narrative of oneness is that we have to become the same one. It's like, no, we're not trying to like Rajneesh, Bhagwan, all wear the same color clothes here. No, we're looking at the process of individuation. We're looking at truly individuating yourself. Knowing what your one is, who your one is, as a part of the collective one. Okay? You offered here in the chat that you were also born at the day of a full moon in Scorpio. Absolutely. So it's like, when we're looking at a moon sign, we're looking at the private self, the emotional self, right? When all the lights are off, when we're done performing in life, what we're left with when those curtain closes, that is your moon sign. And a moon in Scorpio is carrying ancestral karma, it's carrying weight, it's carrying wounds. In the 9th house of belief as well, we're looking at, there's some beliefs here that might not be ours completely. We got to really look at the sort of people-pleasing tendencies that may exist when we really want to belong to people, when we really want to belong to each other. You know, being a part of a community, being a part of spaces authentically requires some risk. It's risky to be honest and truthful with one another. It's risky to put yourself out there. And when yourself is at odds with the people you've grown up with the people you want to belong to, where you get that sense of like, okay, these are my people. And that's the 3rd house. It's like, these are my people. These are my people. But are they really your people if you're hiding a part of yourself? The validation that you receive from those relationships, 7th house of relationships, South Node Leo, the validation you receive from those relationships and those connections, do they really feel true? Do they really feel honest? Or are we not risking enough to risk truth is to get closer to who we are as oneself. And I would say here, every time we do that brave work of just like saying the thing, whatever that thing is, you get closer and closer to that North Node in Aquarius, which says, I don't want to just belong to anyone. I want to belong to the right people. And with every rejection, that's also South Node in Leo territory, we're talking about a trial of authenticity through rejection. I would say potential rejection. It's putting ourselves truly out there, outside of the masks, outside of the terms and conditions of those relationships that expect you to show up in a certain way, is to risk potential rejection by just being like, great, I'm going to say something you probably are not going to like, but it's what you need to hear. It's what you need to know. And every time you do that, we get closer and closer and closer to that North Node in Aquarius, in the first house of self. So we need to know who we really are in this lifetime. That is what the journey is all about. Knowing who you really are. Who you really are. And it's okay if you don't see things the way other people see them. We gotta ask some questions in this lifetime. Trust the questions. Gotta trust the questions that live inside of us, Angelica. I think ultimately that North Node in Aquarius is pointing you in the direction of the solutions for everything that's breaking apart right now. And there's a reason why relationships feel a little weird right now, especially with those that are closest with us. Because as the illusion breaks on the main stage, right, in the world, what's left is something that's hopefully a little closer to truth. That's why it's growing increasingly harder to be in relationship with other people who maybe those relationships have been based on a version of self that might have been true at that time, but now is shifting. Cause like, read the room, things are changing. They have to change. We change. And it's okay for those relationships to change as we change as well. The ones that stick are the real ones, are the true ones. There is no lack of people who understand you in this world and get you in this world. But the only way for those people to find you is by being honest. By beating your drum and going, this is my drum. This is my drum. And giving those other people an opportunity who really fuck with you, an opportunity to find you. And that's the North Node in Aquarius. That's the North Node in Aquarius. It's only going to happen. Look at it squaring this third house of communication. It's only going to happen. That North Node is only going to feel its most North Star purposeful mission energy when we just say the thing instead of being afraid of the thing that's said. Okay. All right, Angelica. That's what I have for you, love. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you so much for saying yes. All the wonderful things. Restful and peaceful journeys as we move onward and onward. We have 15 minutes between now and the next reading. I do that by design, on purpose. So if you have any astrology questions, anything that you would like a little more information on, or my take, whatever question I see in here that feels like, okay, cool, I want to elaborate on this, I will go ahead and answer it, at least for the next 15 minutes. While those questions come in, I'm going to get myself some water. All right. Let's see. Can you explain a bit what MC does in your chart? Yes, absolutely. So MC is your midheaven. So when we talk about MC, we're talking about the crown of your chart. It's the very top. It's that middle line between the 9th house and the 10th house. And I think it paints the picture perfectly because 9th house is belief, it's higher learning. It's essentially like going to school when we're looking at MC. We're going to school, we're going out into the world to learn information. And in that learning, we get a little closer to ourselves. And this is why this idea of going to college was such a beautiful, like it's a rite of passage, because it's the environment where we start learning for ourselves, learning to think for ourselves. And that only comes through experiences, through those connections, through talking to other people, through learning and contemplating. And from that school, from the philosophy, from the playground, the college of life, which is very much the 9th house, we then bring that to our greatest work, which is the 10th house. Our legacy, our career, our, I hate to use the word purpose, but that lives there. Capital P purpose, lowercase p purpose. That is where we're seen in the grand stage of life. We learn in the 9th house and we bring that learning into the 10th house and we build a legacy from it. We build something honest. We build something truthful. We build something that feels good to the soul. So that midpoint, it tells you, that midheaven, it tells you the environment or the archetype, the energy around that higher learning. Like what sort of energy, what vibe does it have? And then it also paints the picture of how we bring that energy into our very public facing role, right? Like I think of social media as being that 10th house energy of just like, look at me. I think of TED Talks. I think of entrepreneurship. I think of, you know, bringing that, like when the world sees you, they see you for this midheaven. Like I would say probably when we've died, you know, when we died, that midheaven is going to feel very close. It's going to feel like that hero's journey energy. Okay. So let's say you have a midheaven in Aquarius. We're talking about collectivism. We're talking about really coming together and innovating and pushing humanity forward. We're talking about breaking the chains of our oppressors and breaking down the foundation to rebuild a new one that's closer to speaking for all of us. We're talking about the path of individuation. We're talking about the words that build worlds, which is why Aquarians make really great lawyers. They understand those systems. They're ruled by Saturn as well, right? And Uranus. So we're looking at building systems, building structure, as well as Uranus innovating and pushing things forward. So in that 9th house territory, with your midheaven in Aquarius, what are we learning in that department? What are we learning about, you know, mutual aid and systems and anthropology and sociology and you know, creating a better world for humanity? We're talking about humanitarianism as well. So like, you know, being a part of that, maybe going off and volunteering and allowing that experience to be your college. You know, maybe going to college itself and learning law, very much a very midheaven Aquarius energy. Now, what ends up happening is when we go out to the world to collect all that Aquarius information through experiences, through direct connection with other peoples and all that fun stuff, we then bring that energy to the 10th house, which again, we're Aquarius in the 10th house, which is a very Capricorn house. When we're thinking of 10th house, we're thinking of Capricorn. We're thinking of, this is my legacy. Look at me and look at all the work that I'm doing. I'm a workaholic. I'm building something real and I built it and I want that recognition. Aquarius doesn't care for that recognition in that midheaven. Aquarius is more so about like, great, I'm building a career, I'm building a legacy, but with other people. You need others. You need different voices, different perspectives. You need diversity to influence you so that you can feel like you're doing the Aquarius mission, which is not to become another sheep person. Aquarius is like, ew, I don't want to become, don't put me in a box. I want to be out of that box, right? Now, of course, if you are an Aquarius yourself, if you have an Aquarius sun, if you have an Aquarius North Node, even if your Venus is an Aquarius, if you have a planetary placement in Aquarius, there's still some of this energy in you and it will come through. But that midheaven, we're looking at that middle point between, you know, when we go out into the school of life and we bring that onto the main stage and build a career for it, that's where perhaps that Aquarius archetype will be most concentrated. So that is that midheaven function. That's what we're looking at here. Midheaven, let's say in Cancer. Midheaven in Cancer. We're looking first, we got to look at Cancer and what is Cancer all about at probably its highest octave. Cancer is about care. Cancer is about family. Cancer is about belonging. And Cancer is about really like basic needs. Cancer is mom. She's the mama bear of the zodiac. Have you eaten today? Do you feel cared for? Do you feel loved? Here, let me help you in that department. Cancer is water as well. They're the soccer mom as well. They're like, ooh, I want to take a picture of this. I want to save this memory forever. Ooh, I love you so much. Coop, let me see you here. And this energy of just like, when we give that heart to other people, when we initiate love and care with others, there's just this feeling of like, it feels good to do good in this world. We're also looking at emotional life, but as a cardinal sign, as a baby water sign, we're looking at raw emotion, those initial emotions. It's the, I'm so happy and I want to experience all this happiness here. It's like, oh my God, I'm feeling it all. And it's just like a little wavy, and that's emotion. It's fine. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, and that's okay. Now, when I look at the Cancer archetype and I'm like, now we're doing midheaven work, we got to think of what does Cancer at its highest octave look like in the 9th house? What is the school of Cancer? I would say it would probably, for someone who has a midheaven in Cancer, exploring family systems, exploring social work, exploring containers of care. Maybe you start a soup kitchen. Maybe you start a container of care, a mother circle. Maybe you explore the school of motherhood. You become a mom, you know, you become a dad, you become a caregiver of some sort, and how that influences you. Maybe you even learn, or maybe you're like, oh, I really want to learn and be of service as working with mothers who are in postpartum depression. There is an example of a client that I work with who she was adopted. And she, of course, she's continuing that story in a beautiful way and has adopted someone as well. And a lot of her work with this Cancer midheaven is about the mediation of reuniting with your birth parent and what that looks like. And she's like, she works in that middle of helping adoptees and those people who gave them up for adoption go through that process of repair. And for her, I'm just like, wow, that's a beautiful midheaven in Cancer, right? That's a beautiful example of, here, I went through the school of life. I allowed the school of life to work through me. I was adopted. I have a mom wound. Mom wasn't there. And I took this life experience that I already have access to, which is so juicy and so wonderful. And boom, here I am on the main stage of life in the 10th house. And it's become a part of her legacy building work, to work with others in the process of repair, family systems, bringing that family together, even in its separation, and what that does to the heart. And like, okay, cool. Now I know who to belong to, who to be with, what is happening here. Okay. So that is midheaven. I encourage you in the exploration of your personal midheaven, look at the archetype first. So if you have Libra, look at Libra first at its highest octave. If you have Taurus, look at Taurus at its highest octave. Whatever it is, look at the archetype first, learn the ins and outs of it, and then ask that question to bring this archetype into the school of life. What does the school of Taurus look like? What does if you were to like Hogwarts house a Taurus, if you're like in the house of Taurus, what does that Taurus person learn to feel a part of this world? You know, really start thinking of that. That'll give you an idea of the spaces to explore, the experience to have. That'll give you an idea of the classes to take in college if you choose to go down to go toward academia. And there's that. And then it'll also give you an idea of how to bring all that energy. You know, you don't have to go to college physically, academic wise, to still gain life experience. How do you bring all that experience into the 10th house, into a public facing role, into something that you're witnessed for, seen in, and recognized in? Someone who has a midheaven in Cancer, it's helpful, or maybe possible to think like some of your biggest work, your legacy building work, could be in being a caregiver. And that's beautiful as well. It's beautiful to be a mom or a dad. It doesn't make that role less than someone who is like a CEO of a Fortune 100, Fortune 500 business or whatever. Like, being a mother can be a very soul enriching life purpose. Being a teacher, being a caregiver, being whatever that is. So it's like, when we're thinking of legacy, we're not thinking of how can I make the most money, you know, although there's room for that, but we're thinking of something much deeper and evolutionary. Like, what gets me out of bed in the morning? And what gets you out of bed in the morning could be being a caregiver, being a custodian, being someone who works in the toll booth on the highway. Those positions are dwindling real fast, but you see what I mean, right? You get what I mean. All right, friend. Great. That was a really good question. I'm glad we were able to dive into it. I'm going to drink some water, and in the meantime, let's get another reading going. Mary, where are you at, my love? If you are here and ready for your reading, just go ahead and type it in the chat. Refresh. Ooh, water, baby. Stay hydrated, y'all. It's a reminder for self and you. All right, Mary, let's go ahead and get this going. Get your information in here. Perfection. Checking my list. Let's see your notes here. Great. Okay. Okay. Ooh, bye. Hola, amor. Hello, Mary. So let's go ahead and talk about your chart. Based off of all the energy that is coming online for you in this chapter right now, there's a couple things that I really want to pay close attention to. First, you're a Libra rising. I'm a Libra rising too. Yay, Libra rising. We love love. We love love. We love connection. We love balance. We love harmonies. We love beauty and all the many beautiful things that get the nervous system to go, that feels good. That feels so nice. So nice. Hello, you're Laura. Okay, cool. So who's Mary Mesa? Is that you too? Do you have that as well? Are you Mary Mesa as well? Because I mean, I see here in your notes, I see Mary Mesa. So just to make sure, but if I'm at your screen name matches. So anyways, Libra rising, all of that. Now for Libra rising people, and especially for you, we're going through a stage of really looking at our south node through our north node as well, right? So south node in Libra, we're amplifying the shadow. We're amplifying the shadow of Libra, which is like, ultimately Libra wants to be in the middle. And sometimes what happens is, in being in the middle, we're indecisive. We're kind of here, we're kind of there. We want all things, and in that, it just gives us like an analysis paralysis feeling. Sometimes, you know, to have a sense of peace, we end up over compromising. So we're talking about people pleasing as well. We're talking about to what extent are we over compromising what we really are. And the medicine here of Libra rising and Libra south node as well is 1 plus me equals we, equals us, equals both of us, okay? Not 1 minus me equals we. 1 plus me equals we. You plus me equals we. And with South Node Libra, there's this intensity here of like, maybe we shape shift ourselves for other people. Because ultimately South Node Libra really wants to be liked, really wants to be accepted, really wants to be loved. Now, the medicine for this is that North Node in Aries, which is me. Talk about just me. When you think of yourself in partnership, when you think of yourself in relationship, 7th house of relationship and connection with other people, are you really wholeheartedly being the full truthful self? And, you know, interestingly enough, of course, I have a sun in Aries, and all this Aries energy is hitting my 7th house as well. And the way that I'm seeing it is that sometimes my yes is really a no. And how to lovingly say no is where it gets a little tricky for me. How to lovingly say no to things, because we don't want to disappoint the people we love, right? We don't want to disappoint the people we care for. Another thing that's coming through for anybody who has Aries energy in that 7th house is really looking at initiation and action in relationship with other people. Collaborations, you know, business partnership, friendships, all of that. Are we waiting for other people to take action? And if we are, it would benefit you to think of taking action as well. You gotta also take steps. You also have to initiate connection as well. It's not enough to just like do your own thing. Sometimes you have to do the reaching out of like, hey, I need this. We're talking about being a leader in relationship more, and not being a leader because we're trying to dominate the relationship. No, we're leading the relationship as well, which South Node Libra has a tendency of like, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Well, what do you want to eat? I don't care. Whatever you want to eat. Well, what do you want to do? I don't care. Whatever you want to do. And I would say probably in the arena of your career, your boss mode energy. You're the boss mode, like Leo-san. Maybe in your career, you feel more in charge than you do in your relationships and the people you really love and care for, those close connections. But how can we bring some of this already beautiful leadership pizzazz in that 10th house territory into our closest relationships as well? I don't know if we're married. I don't know if, or like maybe committed partners. I don't know if what that looks like, but I wouldn't be surprised if those connections, maybe right now, maybe there's been a little like tension. Maybe. I sure as hell have had it, not in a bad way, but definitely in a clarifying way. So we're looking at that North Node medicine being bravery, courage, action, confrontation. This idea of like, instead of waiting for our partners, for our friends, for family members, for business partners to do something, to initiate, you gotta initiate, baby. You gotta do the thing. You gotta say the thing. You gotta be the thing. And in that, it might cause some tension, but the tension is the point. The only way for you to really, at a higher octave, have a sense of balance and peace is through confront the tension, is through tension. Because in the over-compromise, of just like, oh, whatever, I bet you, sure enough, there's some resentment there. Every no, every yes that's really been a no gets stored eventually. And this is where that Aries archetype starts like a fucking tea kettle, like, and eventually there's an explosion, there's conflict. The conflict is the aftermath of not addressing the thing in the room in the moment. There's a lot of anxiety here when it comes to saying the thing. It says no, divorced and single. I would say here that, you know, that South Node Libra placement definitely still wants that, right? Still wants a relationship. But we got to know what we ultimately want. What are those unmovable, unshakable, because career is a comfort zone. But North Node in Aries is telling me, like, we're meant to have a relationship in this lifetime, in that 7th house of marriage, in the 7th house of relationship. Like, this is a very, with all, we haven't entered Neptune or Saturn yet into this house, but when it does move over, like, collaborations, relationship, romance, all of that is in the stars for you, potentially. And in that, of course, all that South Node Libra energy has a tendency of probably bubbling up to the surface. So while that is coming into fruition, I would say it's in your best interest to know what those hard no's are, what are those boundaries, to really confront how we shapeshift and to individuate yourself. Speak those things. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for other people to reach out for you to do the Aries thing. Do the Aries thing yourself. If you've been waiting for collaborations, if you've been waiting for invitations, reaching out to those connections. If career has started to feel a little like, I wanted to start moving in a different direction. If your job, boss energies, great. Start reaching out to people. Reach out for those connections and collaborations. Hey, I've been eyeing you. I think we can work together. How can we build this relationship? You gotta take the lead in those connections, in those collaborations, instead of waiting for them to come to you. North Node Aries, baby, it's different. She different. It's 11:11 for me over here. Hey, hallelujah, make a wish. So there's that concentrated energy as well. Okay. On top of all of this, to add more emphasis in that career sector, in that 10th house territory, beginning July, we have Jupiter entering Leo, which I love for you, baby, because Jupiter in Leo is going to be hitting this 10th house of career. Jupiter opens doors. Jupiter brings opportunities. Jupiter brings lots of blessings. And depending on the archetype it is in, will tell you the shape, the energy, the quality of those opportunities. And in Leo, we're talking about being on stage, right? We're talking about, look at me, look at my truth. Do you like my truth? Applause, please. I live for the applause, applause, applause. It's very much that energy. And I think Jupiter here really wants you to come out of the closet, to be on stage in a way that actually touches that North Node, this North Node in Aries. We're talking about leadership that's new, that's different. I would say or question if whether or not this career path that you're on is in your comfort zone, which is great. It's important for us to be comfortable in our career, in the legacy we're building. It's nice. There's pockets of comfort, but there's also windows of growth for us to like jump through. And this Jupiter return for you, this Jupiter transit for you has the energy of like, great, let's go out on stage in different ways. Let's go out on stage in more fiery ways, in more confronting ways. Let's really, boom, activate the audience here in ways that, sure, it carries still that softness that is Libra. Libra has that charm. You know, Libra has that energy of just like people, just like, wow, I feel like you make me feel so welcomed. You make me feel so comfortable. And in that, it's just like, cool. What am I getting you to look at though with that comfort? With my hospitality, with my heart, with my come on in, welcome to my crib. What am I getting you to see in yourself? You know, we're talking about leadership in this era of our life, right? We're talking about leadership, and leadership for you in the arena of that North Node in Aries. Relationships, collaborations, connections, interpersonal relationships that are waiting for you to take the lead. Maybe you create, and who knows, like a summit of some sort through this with a whole bunch of like revolutionary, evolutionary leaders that that inspire you and how they move through the world in this change, in this fire horse era we're in. And in that you create an opportunity to, hey, yeah, career is always going to be a pretty dominant force, energy in your life, especially with Leo here and your sun, Mercury here in Cancer. It's a very Cancerian midheaven, so we're looking at like empathy and love and emotions and care. But like care through what lens here? Is this care integrous? Does it feel fresh and pioneering? That's that North Node in Aries. It's going to be loud. It wants to be a pioneer. It wants to get someplace first. That's Aries energy. So where do you want to get first? And how do your interpersonal relations mirror that 10th house? You know, like this North Node is super tied to that 10th house. How do they mirror each other? Do they at all? Or are there very clear, like, distinctions? Yeah. All right, love. So that's what I have for you, married. Lots of love, lots of blessings to you. Thank you for your trust in this reading. I appreciate you so much. Now we trust. Now we trust. Now we trust. Now we just do the brave thing. That Aries mantra, baby. The Aries mantra is bravery is found in action. Bravery is found in the doing. It's not found in haphazardly, right? It's found in the doing. Yeah. For friends who are wanting a reading, by the way, if you're asking that question, you can go ahead and check out the link in the description on YouTube. You can book a 15-minute mini reading in the future. Or you can check out the link in my bio on Instagram if you're watching on Instagram. Yeah. Yeah, July is going to be a good month for you. Good time too. Jupiter is going to be living in this energy for a while, a little more than a year. So you got some good time to work with her in the best ways. All right. Moving on to our final reading of the day, and it's for Ashley. So Ashley, where are you, baby? Right out. Right out. I'm gonna put your notes here. I love that. Perfection. Let me read your notes. Let me know you're here. And Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Oh. Interesting. All right. um. Interesting. Okay. I am just sitting with your chart here, and here is what's for friends who just signed up on my website, by the way. Please look in your email and click on the link to actually put your session on the books. If you did not get a time confirmation from me, you still have to go through some steps. You should have received a confirmation email. You should have been sent to a landing page post-purchase, clicked on that link, selected your time slot from that link, and then, yeah, we can move from there. But if you didn't, then your reading has not been confirmed for today, just so you know. But don't worry, I do this every Thursday and Saturday. So there's that. Here's what I have for you, love. So you don't have to apologize. I would say you don't have to apologize for your questions, first and foremost. I think it's quite beautiful that in your notes, you literally put the focus being on mental processes, daily habits, and lifestyle. And I open your chart and I see all this concentrated Cancer energy in your 6th house of daily habits, lifestyle, the routines that we do, right? And next to it, we also have 5th house. We have Gemini energy here, right? Which is telling me that care, nurture, maternal energies, that foundation is really, really necessary for us to do anything effectively in this world. And I would say having such a strong Cancer Sun placement, Cancer Sun wants the hermit's shell, the hermit crab shell. Cancer here wants a little home to feel cozy in, wants a space, wants a family, wants belonging as well. And in the 6th house, on the daily, especially with Mercury here in Cancer and the moon here in Cancer, you have the mooniest of moons. What we're looking at is care and softness. How are we on the daily, on the regular, interacting with softness, interacting with love, interacting with those beliefs as well? And interestingly enough, you're here like, how do I do my creative? There's a lot of energy here that just wants balance, just wants to like root in something, right? But here you have this 5th house Gemini quality here, Venus here in Gemini. So your values are rooted in Gemini, which is that of changing things around, which is that of I need to open up tabs, in the house of creativity at that. So giving yourself permission to change your mind. That Chiron wound here as well in Gemini is that permission of changing your mind. Things change. You change. And that's okay. I would say here in regards to building stability, you would really benefit from, instead of building stability through this South node in Libra, which is just like, I'm living the manifesto and the life and the framework of other people's, instead of like, what makes me alive? What do I feel? Where is that aliveness? Where does that aliveness live in me? And how can I softly give life to that aliveness as well? You came into this world for that North Node in Aries. We got North Node in Aries as again, which is saying me. Me, 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 me. It's about you. Which is tough when Cancer here in that 6th house is constantly giving to others. I'm giving to others. I'm of service. 6th house of service. My heart is open for other people. But is your heart really open for you? And what does that process really look like on the daily of opening your heart for you and opening your heart to what is present? And I get it, Capricorn rising here, it's a tough placement to be in, because that Capricorn rising, it just wants to structure, wants like, okay, cool, can we just commit to something? And the commitment is to many things in this lifetime. Your heart moves, and what you want to nurture changes and shifts, and that's okay. Look at this square here. You know, literally we have a square, we have squares that create a square. And it tells you, it paints a picture here. I think there is perhaps something worth visiting here, that South Node in Libra here carries a wound of like doing it the hard way, of feeling like the work is in belonging to others. But I would say in a past life, we probably gave ourselves to other people. We lived our life through other people. And in that, it didn't feel like our own. I would say here with South Node in Libra, we probably were the spouse of someone who was very charismatic, dominated the space, and you were very much served that person. And that's beautiful. It's a beautiful quality to think for others, to just like consider other people, to consider those relationships and connections. But when that comes at a cost of you doing the things that you want to do in your life, well, that's where it gets a little clunky. To which this North Node in Aries, in a very notebooky way, it's, what do you want? South Node in Libra, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. What do you want? What do you want? And then doing the brave work of taking that action, taking that step toward your wanting. We've done it the hard way. We've lived our life many times already through other people. And it's beautiful that you have this muscle, this capacity to care for others and to be that thing, to fulfill those needs of other people through that Cancer. You got that mama bear heart. But how are you mothering yourself? How are you mothering yourself? You care for others so beautifully. But do you care for self in that sense? Can you trust that in this lifetime, with that North Node in Aries, you said, life is an adventure. Life is an adventure. It's about really learning how to become your own soulmate. To take yourself out on dates, and not saying you're not going to have a romantic relationship. Absolutely. That is in the chart for you. You have Mars and Cancer here in that 7th house. Absolutely. You have a capacity to be in relationship with other people, and like, boom, you're so good at satiating those needs. You love, and you love hard. You love hard. You love in ways that, wow, people are just like, whoa, this is what it feels like to be cared for. But in the process of that, there is something that is wanting to be loved in that same way as well. What about me? That is that North Node Aries, that North Node soul just going like, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about me? And there's this part of you that's just like waiting for it to be reciprocated. When in fact, you're meant to reciprocate it to yourself first. And when we really reciprocate that love to the self in those beautiful Aries way, that is a sort of love and care. That is loving in alignment. That is loving in the highest octave. Because from that place, the love that you offer, the hospitality you offer to other people, there ain't nothing they can take from you. You'll never feel depleted ever again in your entire life when you really master that love first in oneself. And I know it sounds tropey. I know we hear it all the time, especially in the whole, like, the RuPaulification of things. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen. But there's a lot of truth in that. I think you would really benefit from really learning how to fuck with you hard. Like, eat, pray, love with yourself. Take yourself on those dates, those adventures that you've been waiting to share with someone. Like, create the standard of home and family and stability with yourself first, and boom, watch how it all opens. And it will. It has to. But we gotta stop resisting self and measuring self through the care and love we offer to others, instead of measuring oneself with the love and care and nurturance that we offer to self. And in that, everything here will start opening in the most beautiful, 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 beautiful ways. It's not selfish of you to want these things. It's not selfish. It's in fact that selfishness that makes reciprocity possible, because now it really knows its worth. Now you really know your worth, instead of settling for the scraps that other people give to you. Understanding that with this 6th house of service, especially, what do we have? Jupiter here, right? Yeah. Jupiter, it was living in that 6th house of service. Jupiter, the planet of opening doors and opportunities in Cancer. We're talking about philosophy of care, right? So with this being in that, when it was in that 6th house, Jupiter in Cancer in many ways was telling you, this ain't it. This is not what love looks like. This is not what care feels like. And in that, well, what does it look like? Well, it has to start with you. It has to really start with you. Look we have Neptune in Aries. We have Saturn in Aries, really testing the limits here of your bravery and courage to really face yourself and stand up for yourself. And going, fuck you, that's not how you treat me. That's not how you treat other people. And it's going to sound harsh. That South Node in Libra is going to be like, no, what do you mean? What do you mean, fuck you? North Node in Aries is like, yeah, fuck you. This is not what it looks like. You're disrespecting my value. You're disrespecting my worth. And in every autonomous, no, you're reaffirming to your soul your independence, your selfhood. I think in many ways we're seeing here, this is not what it looks like. This is not what it looks like to love or care for each other. You're taking advantage of my love. You're taking advantage of my care, of my empathy. And we gotta really know that, especially right now. People are showing their ass. Okay? All right. All right, my loves. Well, on that note, that's what we have for today in regards to our charts here. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you saw yourself in these readings today, at least a little bit. I appreciate you so much. You did some great work. You moved some beautiful things. If you want a 15-minute mini reading, all of that is linked down below in the description. Of course, there's only so much I can cover in a 15-minute session. If you want to do a soul session for an hour long, I have those. They're one-on-one. We can actually talk and connect with each other in that way. They're called soul sessions. That's also linked in the bio, in all the things. And I love you. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, baby, thank you. I love my partner so much. I love my love so much. He was on Facebook Marketplace and he found a lava lamp that is yellow and has, look, all the astrology charts and everything all over it. How cool! So unique. So he just came here with that gift, and how fun. So great. Love, love, love. Anyways, friends, bye for now. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and we shall be in touch. I'll see you soon. Oh, I should have said this before at the jump. There are no readings next week because I will be away. There's another event that I have to be present at. So Thursday, Saturday, no readings, but we'll be back the following week for sure. Absolutely. Integrate that Scorpio full moon. I love you very much. If you have any questions about anything, you can always email me at hello@colormecrazy.world. Appreciate you. Lots of love. Bye for now. Say goodbye to everybody in the space. Bye. Yay. Thank you.